So let's understand how you can mitigate the non-deterministic behavior of the large language models. Now, in terms of the syllabus, you should be having the understanding of the K2 level, summarize mitigation techniques for Gen AI hallucination, reasoning errors and biases in software testing tasks. Let's see in detail. So mitigation of the non-deterministic behavior of the large language model. When we say large language model are non-deterministic, what it means? It means that for the same input, exact same input, you might get different answers every time, different output every time. For example, if you go ahead, choose any model and say what is software testing, you will see that in Microsoft Copilot, in Google Gemini, every time you will see the way the answer is being generated or the text combination changes. And that's the non-determinism of LLMs, because it's generative AI. It generates the output on demand and it's not copying and pasting or searching and providing you the results. Okay. So this is caused by probabilistic sampling processes used during inference, and this is the reason why the LLMs are non-deterministic. So consequently, achieving consistent and reproducible results using LLM can be challenging, particularly with the long outputs, which increases the risk of variability. And you see variability in the output. The outputs changes or non-deterministic. They are different for the same questions or queries or same prompt that you provide multiple times. What is the impact on software testing? It is hard to achieve consistent reproducible results, and it increases the risk of hallucination and reasoning error. So this is the impact of this non-determinism of LLM. As a tester, as a testing team member, you should understand this behavior of LLM and should understand how to manage expectations and ensure the quality. So let's see how you can mitigate the non-deterministic behavior. First thing is adjusting LLM's temperature parameter setting. So in the LLM, you have this temperature parameter setting in the large language model. This parameter setting controls randomness in LLM response. If you lower this temperature or the temperature parameter in LLM during the response generation, it narrows the probability distribution, reducing randomness and resulting in more consistent output if you lower it. Higher LLM temperature produces more creative but less predictable outcome. So this setting decides whether your output will be more consistent and more probabilistic, or it will be more creative but less predictable. For example, if you say generate boundary test cases for age field, if high temperature parameter is set, then you will see varied and creative test cases. Some may be irrelevant as well. But if it is low, LLM will produce consistent, more repetitive or overly deterministic test cases. For example, you will see similar sort of number being generated or similar test cases with similar test data being generated every time you ask the same question to the LLM. Now, lowering the temperature helps reproducibility, but it reduces the diversity of the test ideas. Okay, so you have to think about the balance. So this is one of the way to mitigate the non-deterministic behavior of LLM. Then setting random seeds. Some LLM implementations allow setting a seed value for random number generator. With this, it ensures pseudo-random, for example, deterministic random values sequence is used, which improves reproducibility. With this setting the random seed, it fixes the pseudo-random sequence used by the LLM. It ensures the outputs are repeatable across runs, and it improves reproducibility for the testing tasks. For example, if the seed is set, same login test cases generated every run. If you say generate the login test case for this requirement and you provide the requirement, you will see similar or more deterministic or similar sort of test cases generated every time. If you do not set this, then outputs vary, sometimes missing the edge cases as well. So here as well, there is no right and wrong as such in LLM. You need to find the balance, and this is more of a LLM specific setting to control the non-deterministic behavior of the LLMs. Reducing the risk through verification. So automate some aspects of the output verification. Apply structured review process. Right? These are also some of the mitigation techniques for the non-determinism. When you have the some aspects of the output verification are automated, then you apply the structured review process for the output. You detect and mitigate hallucination and reasoning errors early. For example, if the AI generates 20 test cases, an automated tool cross-checks against the requirement whether it is producing the correct test cases or not, or similar sort of test cases or not. So that's again checking about the non-determinisms. You have tool that checks it automatically. Automated tool flags 3 irrelevant test cases, then tester removes them before actually going ahead and executing. So you can also reduce the risk through verification, either through the manual verification or through the automated verification. Combining automation and human oversight ensures consistent test wear, and this verification, manual and automation verification, is another technique to mitigate the non-deterministic behavior of LLM. So that's all about the mitigation techniques of the non-deterministic behavior of large language model in generative AI. Thank you. I'll see you in the next tutorial.